If it wasn't for heartbreak, missteps, mistakes, and missed opportunities, the unmet expectations, if it weren't for the oh-so-closes, maybe next times. Winning wouldn't feel like this.
Welcome to Baycairn Training Centre in Campbellville, Ontario. I'm Jaimi Fellows with the Harness Racing Update, and today we're talking 2-year-olds with Dr. Ian Moore. We're spending our morning here with Dr. Ian Moore in Campbellville at Baycairn. Ian, you just shipped up your horses from Florida this past week. How was that process this year?
It went pretty well. The horses were all a little bit late leaving Florida this year, so as a result, they laid over in Kentucky and didn't get here until about 3 in the morning on early Friday morning. So we gave them the weekend off, turned out, to get accustomed to the cold, and myself as well. And jogged everybody today, and everybody seemed in good spirits and quite sharp and ready to roll. So we're looking forward to it.
Which horses are you most excited from last year to see returning racing this year?
We kept 6 over from last year. One was a 4-year-old Classic Pro who has raced at Pompano and won his first start down there. And we left him in Florida, actually shipping out tomorrow morning to go to New Jersey to race in the Graduate Series this Saturday, and then he'll be back in Canada. The other 5 3-year-olds that we kept, they all showed us a lot of promise, and so we did keep them. I'm certainly looking forward to Percy Blue Chip again and Jan, the 2 nice fillies we had last year. Both have qualified. All the 3-year-olds have qualified twice except Jan. She had a minor tie-up, I guess. The last week we were supposed to qualify her down there, so we left her out. And I've got Shadow Moon and Atomic Seelster and Casimir Richie P, who seem to have matured and changed quite a bit this year. So we're looking forward to all of them, actually.
How many horses do you have in your stable right now, and how many of those are 2-year-olds?
We have 19 right at the moment. We had 20, one 3-year-old for Windback Farm that we qualified in Florida and shipped him up north. He won his first start up there for Julie Miller. We have 13 2-year-olds at the moment. We're going to be down to 12 here in a few days' time, but so I guess the number is 12.
Out of your 12 babies, how many of those are Ontario sired?
We have 10 Ontario sired fillies and colts this year, and 1 Pennsylvania, well-said colt, and the other one is some beach somewhere, so I guess he's Pennsylvania as well.
What do you believe motivates owners to purchase Ontario sired horses?
Well, that's a tough question. In the past, of course, Ontario has been the top jurisdiction in terms of money given for purses in the OSS. And now in the last couple of years, there's been a few changes with the change in the scenery here, if you like, in Ontario. Personally, like speaking for myself and our partners, we like the Ontario breds because this is where we're stabled and this is where we're raced, and the program in Ontario is still not too bad. And of course, I'm still a partner in Shadow Play, as a lot of my partners are as well. So him being Ontario bred, we're going to have a lot of those around as well. So, you know, it's the American breds cost a bit more as well, and that may or may not be a consideration. So hopefully the OSS program will at least maintain where it's at the moment, and perhaps even get better in the future.
Speaking of Shadow Play, let's talk about Shadow Sue. This is a filly by your champion, Shadow Play, purchased for $25,000 at Harrisburg. How do you like her so far?
Oh, I love her. She's been a fantastic filly. I kind of bought her on my own. She was the second one to sell on the last day, and within about 5 minutes we had 70% of her sold. So didn't have any problem finding partners on her, but she's been super good, and I have a Sportswriter filly. Her name is Deb now. It was Atlanta Seelster. She came from Seelster Farm, obviously. And those two are tons the best over the boys right now. I usually like to be in 15 the time I leave Florida, and these two are in 210 in the jog cart. And they just want to go at it tooth and nail every time they're on the track together. So we're quite hopeful for both of them.
You paid $82,000 for a Bettors Delight colt named Missile Seelster at the London sale. What do you like about him?
I love his attitude. We've had several Bettors Delights over the last 10 years. One real good one, horse called Malicious, who's standing stud in PEI now. The Bettors Delight, some of them, that I've had have just fair attitudes. And this guy, he's all business when he's out there, and he actually got a little too aggressive on us, and I had to make some equipment changes, slow him down a bit. But he's training very well, and he's been in 212 range, I think, and got a lot more to spare, obviously. So we're hopeful for him.
What can you tell us about Shadow Royal, a shadow play colt you bought for $25,000 at Harrisburg?
He's a beautiful looking animal. He's a black horse, looks a lot like his father, perhaps a bit bigger than he was as a 2-year-old. The mare that he's out of is a Cam's Card Shark mare who really hasn't had a whole lot yet, which is probably one of the reasons why we got him a little bit cheaper. And he started out very well, and then just kind of hung a little bit for a couple months. But now that we made a few changes equipment-wise with him too, opened him up a bit, and he's really come alive in the last month or so. And he's right up there. Him and Missile Seelster are probably the best couple of colts I have at the moment.
Can you tell us about a shadow play filly, Playgirl?
Well, the original shadow play partners, myself and RG Group Limited, Ron and Gail McClellan and Bathurst, New Brunswick, and Serge Savard. We bought a mare from Seelster a couple of years ago that was in foal to shadow play, and she's the result of that breeding. I kind of got her early in September, and she was in just reasonable condition and not great, but she's really developed and matured extensively over the winter time. We had her on racehorse full feed like for a long time, a lot earlier than I would with any baby. But she's been a nice kind of, if you like, to this point, success story for us, and has changed so much, and is right up there with all the top fillies as well. So.
You paid $150,000 at London for a shadow play colt, Silas Seelster. What do you like about him?
Well, he was one of the best looking shadow play yearling colts that I've seen from the sire in recent years, and we weren't sure how much we're going to have to pay for him, and but there are 5 of us in on him, so it's great when you have partners and you can spend that much money. And he's been a super colt, done nothing wrong. A bit lazy to start with, but now he's come around as well in the last month or so, and he's right up there with all the best colts. He's been in 212 also, I think, before we left Florida. And no boots, all that sort of thing. He's a beautiful built animal, and he reminds me a lot actually of Arthur Blue Chip in the way he developed as a young horse. He was lazy and all that sort of thing starting out, and it wasn't until the first day we qualified him that he kind of came around. So this guy's sort of trending the same way, which is good. He's done nothing wrong, and it's all positive to this point. Over the next couple of months, I think he'll sort himself out as well.
You also have a homebred Mach 3 colt named Crusher Q. It's the millionaire brother to Agent Q that you're training for Steve Stewart of Hunterton Farms and Partners. How's that colt coming along?
That colt's coming along great. The other 2 partners are Frank Cannon and Alan Quinn, who are in Florida at the moment, keeping warm. We got him late, and I don't think he had been handled a whole lot because he was very difficult to break. And matter of fact, we had him on a daily diet of TQ so we could break him, which was the first time in 20 years that I've ever had to do that. But he's always been very tough, and even with any kind of tranquilizer, he's still roll along out there pretty good. So he's another one that's impressed us a lot in the last couple of months. he's actually, even though he was a month behind everybody, he's actually stepped right up now that he's right up with all the colts again, same type of speed. And he seems to have lots of go to him and a nice gait and everything. So we're looking forward to him as well.
Aside from being a trainer, you're also a vet. What's the biggest benefit of being a vet when it comes to training horses?
Well, that's been a benefit to me for the last 30, 40 years, I guess 35 years or so since I got out of school, because it gives me another perspective to look at in terms of training and conditioning horses and why they're lame here and why they're lame there. So, I use a trainer's perspective, a veterinarian's perspective, and an owner's perspective as well. So I've got all those to look at, and I think it's helped make me a better person to be around horses with, I guess, because of that. And I've enjoyed all those years as a veterinarian. I'm still going to do it this summer in Ontario, so I'm looking forward to that too.
Now, you've lived in Ontario for a few years now. What do you most miss about Prince Edward Island?
Oh, the lobsters and the oysters and all that kind of stuff, and the water in the summertime. Summer in PEI is pretty hard to beat.
What race would you most like to win that you haven't won yet?
I'd like to win the North American Cup. We haven't won that yet. We've won, not all the big ones, but we've won quite a few of them over the last 10 years, but not that one. So I'd like to have one competitive enough to do so.
One of your owners is hockey legend Serge Savard. What is it like to hang out with a 10-time Stanley Cup champion?
Well, Serge is a very humble guy, in spite of all his accolades over the years, and I enjoy being with him. He's great to talk to. He's very knowledgeable about the horse business, and he's a very good partner.
When you're not training horses, what do you like to do?
Well, I like to play hockey, and I'm looking forward to playing with Cujo's Cubs in the summertime here in Ontario once it warms up. I used to golf a little bit, but this winter I took my private pilot's training in Florida, so now I like flying, and I got to get going here in half an hour to Burlington to do so today.
If you could jump in a time machine and go see any horse racing event in history, where would you go?
I would probably go back to the time of Niatros and rewatch some of his races again.
What is the best gift you've ever received?
The best gift I ever received? Well, I guess meeting Nancy many years ago. We've been together since probably about 16 years of age in high school, and we got married and we had our 3 kids as well. So those are all lumped as one best gifts I've ever received.
Thank you so much for having us here and spending your morning with Harness Racing Update.
Thank you very much.
Harness Racing Update is the sport's most comprehensive and trusted news source and the fastest growing publication in the game. HRU has you covered with award-winning features and commentary from some of the sport's best writers. Stellar photography, race news, results, entries, handicapping, and video replays. The industry's most comprehensive sales results and Harness Racing's best reader feedback section. And it's all delivered free of charge to your email box multiple times each week. See why HRU is the most trusted news source of the sport's most important people from all facets of the industry. Subscribe today for free. To subscribe, just go to harnessracingupdate.com and then click subscribe for free.